What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another case study. So how did an 18-year-old from the UK, a high schooler, turn 300 pounds into 20,000 in 1 year before he even graduates school? So here is a case study for you guys. I want to go through the statement, explain it to you, give you guys a little advice and tips as always when we use these case studies, and show you how he done so. But you're gonna see something here which I don't like talking about, and I think it has nothing to do with trading, and that is luck. You know, I always say luck has nothing to do with being successful, but sometimes luck is required when you decide to do this specific strategy or this specific approach of using small capital to turn into large capital. So it worked out in his favor. You know, the stars aligned in his favor, and it worked out very well, and we have to give him credit because he got the job done eventually. But let's go over the statement together, guys, and let's talk about it. There's two statements, one from his initial broker where he took the 300 pounds, made it into 1,000, and then took that 1,000 and started playing with fire. But you know, the stars aligned and it worked out in his favor. So he deposited 300 pounds, guys, into capital.com. It's a broker that offers leverage, but not as much. So leverage means you put something in and they give you extra buying power to buy extra shares. So he ended up building that account up because AMC happened, and we all know what happened with AMC. It built up his account to 1,000 on 300 pounds, and that gave him something to work with. So he took that 1,000, and in that, obviously, you see he was also trading futures, the Dow Jones, which is the overall stock market. And I think if you trade one instrument, you really get to master it, like I said before, and it becomes easier for you. So he built up 1,000, and he took that 1,000 and went ahead and deposited it and started with a new broker, which gives him 1 to 200 leverage, which is insane. What that means is he puts 1,000, he's now trading with 200,000. So the reward is big, obviously, for 1,000 capital, but any move that goes against you, you can blow the whole account up, because brokers don't just give you leverage for no reason. They know the more you trade, the riskier it gets and the table gets hot. But if you have the right support system and you have the right group of people around you, the right mentorship, the broker really stands no chance sometimes. So yeah, he milked them, and he took them for everything, I guess, in this statement that we're going to see today. So this is August. His profits was 8,000 on 1,000. That was his profit carried forward. But I want to walk you through this statement because I think this statement is amazing. Very little losses, guys. This is Ingot Brokers. That's the broker that gives you that insane leverage, which is madness, guys. When you trade with such leverage, forget your money. It's gone, right? For majority of people. But if we just look at what he's doing, he's trading DJ30, which is the Dow Jones, and then NASDAQ 100, which is the tech kind of indices. So he's just trading indices. Now, for a lot of you guys from the US watching, unfortunately, you won't be able to do that unless you go offshore, because the US protects you. With CFD brokers, they allow you to trade them, obviously, because it's just a speculation asset. Just like a wood, they allow you to speculate on anything that has value and is listed publicly. So with 1,000 or with 8,000, he was trading 20 contracts of the Dow Jones, which, if you do your calculations, 20 by 30,000, that's a lot of money, which he doesn't have. So obviously he had to use leverage. So just look at his P&L profits here, guys. Amazing. Let me go into Zoom. So profits. His profits are good. Here's a big loss, 794. His profits are consistent. Here's a big loss of 600. His profits are consistent, and then 9,700 was his withdrawal. So he ended up taking money out, which is he's a smart kid for doing that. You should always protect your profit and stop playing with fire with large capital. Play with small capital. So again, he withdrew another 5,000. Closed P&L for this month of August was 6,800, which is pretty good. And look, this guy has done an amazing job in milking this broker so far. Close trade P&L for that month, 6,888. So this is the same broker. I remember we made a video on another case study of Thomas Turnbow, which is one of my students who also happened to be a mentor in the Monopoly Trading School. But lesson to take from this, guys, is first of all, you know, he was in a position to be able to make that because he was practicing for a long period of time before he was able. And look, at a young age, you don't really value money. So I don't really think he understood what could potentially happen. But he was confident in himself. And I think confidence at the end of the day is what really matters. You need to have confidence in yourself to be able to trade. You need to trade with money you can afford to lose. You need to not have pressure on your shoulders to be able to trade, like you need to make that money to pay the rent. All of these factors influence your decision making and how much of a risk you can take, guys. But again, focused on one instrument, which is a good thing because it really, you get to be as one with that instrument and you get to have knowledge of the ins and outs, what moves it, price action, support, resistance, key levels, the catalysts that influence this instrument to move on value. But again, he had leverage, huge leverage, but it worked out in his favor and he was smart enough to protect his capital. So a lot of people get to make money, but not everybody gets to keep it. But in this case, he got to keep it. 20,000 banked, and I've seen another statement of that 20,000. But just here in August, he's pulled 15,000, guys. So he actually made more, but he ended up giving some money back. So that's another lesson. Your wins are huge, but your losses are even bigger as well. So you need to be able to protect and then go again with the same amount of capital you were using. Now, a lot of you Americans, you won't be able to do this because you're not allowed, obviously. No broker will give you that insane leverage in the US. Only outside the US you might be able to do that. But you can still take something out of this. The fact he's traded with one instrument, the fact that he's pulling money out and you know, saving it and protecting it, that's something we all need to do as traders, is make money, take it out, and start over again with the same amount of capital. So you give yourself some room to breathe, and you're trading with the house's money. So that's very important. But congratulations to this kid. He's going into college with a yearly salary made, and I think if he continues this path, obviously he won't be needing to work for anybody else in the future. Now, obviously, it is risky, like I said. So luck played a huge role in this, and you should be aware that when you're trading with huge leverage, you need to be lucky to have the stars aligning. You need to have the right framework, the right mentorship, the right support system to be able to take advantage of this. That's me done. Hopefully this motivated you guys, because in this industry you need some motivation to carry on forward, just because of the high level of failure rates that exists in this field. See you next time. Peace and love, and as always, don't forget that smashy smashy.